welcome back. Episode 3 of Football Hangover. Today we welcome back Miguel and Jahandar. It's been a true football hangover week for us. We had an amazing week with our community playing with Nike. We had an art gallery installation in Oakland with the Neighborhood Sports Club. We had multiple opportunities to play football together, plunge in the Pacific Ocean. We've done it all this week, and of course watched all the games. We received these incredible cleans. Some of us like them, some of us don't, but I just wanted to shout out Nike and NSC for gifting us these and an amazing week full of memories. So we're starting right off. Ten Hag, is he the problem? What's going on? Leverkusen pulls a pretty big dub, 2 men down this week. He's gone. What are your guys' thoughts?
I mean, I'm not super in tune with them as a club in terms of their preseason and stuff, but he had a whole preseason with the squad. They did, let go a huge chunk of their squad to other clubs over the summer transfer window. But if you're being released after 2 games in charge, there's definitely a misalignment of values between the manager and the club. I think the sporting director of Leverkusen said it was a mistake to hire him. So it sounds like there was just a lot of friction between him as a manager and the relationships that he built with the squad right off the bat, I'm guessing.
His replacement is Kasper Holmand, who was a former Denmark coach. He has about 400 plus career games as a coach, mostly in Denmark. Went on to win a pretty legendary title with Nordsjælland. Hard to pronounce. Nordsjælland. Their first ever title, so that's a pretty big deal. I mean, I don't know much about this coach, but I'm impressed with the first win. And I guess we'll see them in the Champions League later this week and see how they do.
Yeah. Ooh.
I felt like I wanted to make this last week, and then I was like, I'll wait, and then if he scores again, I'll make it. But
yeah. I think I was saying last week, I'm surprised that no one was after him in the transfer market.
Yes, I think we've literally mentioned him on every episode because he's been red hot, and I'm excited to see him in the Champions League against Juve. I think it's gonna be a good battle with Bremer. It's gonna be tough, but yeah, I mean, I'm impressed with this guy.
Yeah, he's very classy striker, I think.
Yeah, good finishing, good with both feet, incredible sense of position. He receives the ball pretty deep sometimes, builds off. I wore my only Borussia Dortmund kit because they're playing Juve, of course, so fuck Juve. Gotta say that on every episode. We're going pretty quick today, rapid fire. We went super long last week, and we're all kind of gassed from an insane week of football. Playing and watching, so
I'm definitely feeling the football hangover today.
Yeah, me as well.
Yeah.
Also, withdrawals. I'm like, I need this more.
Mm-hmm.
I need to play I played 4 days in a row, and I want to play football 4 days in a row, like every other week if possible.
And same. Yeah, no, it was the first time in a long while that I've played that many days in a row, and for that long each session as well, and it felt great. My legs are feeling it now, but it felt great.
My whole body is full of bruises from diving over and over and over. I'm not like Neymar type of play goalkeeper for people that don't know. Bayern won 5-0. Big surprise there. But they're just eating through this Bundesliga. And I'm wondering what's going to happen this week against Chelsea in the Champions League.
I am too, honestly. It's an interesting... Maresca rotated a lot of the squad over the weekend to rest some players. Some players are coming back from a busy international break and injury as well. So he didn't start a lot of people that I think people that are in tune with the Premier League were expecting to start for Chelsea over the weekend. I think to rest them for the matchup coming up in the Champions League. I'm really excited for this game just to see how Chelsea is faring against the bigger teams in Europe now that they're back up in the Champions League this season. I mean, we all know how they did against PSG in the Club World Cup. They were able to hold their own against, the Champions League winners of last season. So at the same time, Bayern just looks scary. They're going to have to, Chelsea's center back pairing is going to have to find some way to manage Kane. They look, insane out on the wing as well. So it'll be an interesting matchup. I could see like a 2-2 draw. I could see honestly Bayern blowing Chelsea apart. I really don't know.
I know Johandar is waiting to see Olise.
Yeah, waiting to see Olise, and also interesting that Bayern signed Nicholas Jackson. So and now he's playing his former club, and it also seemed like a lot of the Bayern transfer targets some of them were bought by Chelsea, like Garnacho was rumored. And it's interesting when these transfers happen and then you have to play your former club immediately, like within 2 weeks.
Yeah. We have a few of those coming this week. I mean, De Bruyne going back to the Etihad. We have that's the only one I can recall off the top of my head because that's my club, but we'll look at the Champions League matchups later and see if we can remember anything else. I thought this was hilarious. I mean, I love seeing these guys at actual football games, and what a match from Arsenal. None of us in the United States West Coast wise watched it because you're insane if you're waking up at 4:30 on Saturday to watch that. I mean, props to you if you can manage, but we had a pretty big Friday night, so I did catch the highlights, and it looked like all the new signings are flying. Edze, Madueke had a big game. Zubimendi, Brace, Gyökeres. I mean, they look good. I think if I recall correctly, next week it's Arsenal Man City, so that's gonna be big. See how both teams respond, coming off of 3-0 wins.
It's gonna be a great matchup. Yeah, no, I saw a video of all of Nani's touches throughout the match, and he looked great. And it was a bit like definitely a bummer, at least for me as a Chelsea fan, watching him get transferred to Arsenal this summer, because a lot of the fan base, I think, kind of had mixed feelings about him as his output and his ability to be a starter. But I loved watching him in a blue shirt, and happy for him as an individual that it looks like he's just continuing along with his development as a really, really, really promising wing. Fun to watch him play.
Do you guys think this jacket Ted's wearing here is a reissue, or do you think it's an OG vintage?
It looks too clean.
It looks too clean. It looks too crispy. Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks too crispy, but I love seeing that. Honestly, I've been rewatching the series with my good friend, and she's never seen Ted Lasso before, and she didn't expect to like the series as much as she has. So we're almost done with the third season of it now. So it's been fun to rewatch it because I haven't since it first aired.
I think it's like
cool,
it's a good entry level thing for people that have never watched football. I have people that are 60-year-old Americans who've never watched a soccer game and they love Ted Lasso. Like my host parents, they're like, oh, you have to watch it. I'm like, okay, this is what I do every week. But yeah, sure. I mean, it's fun for us too,
Yeah.
I wish Max or Dill or both were on right now because I this popped up in my head. I was thinking Arsenal teams that I liked, Flamini or Rosicky. That's a big. I don't know. I honestly was thinking about it for like an hour. I know I'm insane.
Rosicky.
Yeah, that's where I'm leaning towards too. But I could be biased just because I feel like there's more memorable moments watching him as a player than Flamini.
Yeah.
I think Flamini, I would pick Flamini because I remember him very clearly when I was younger playing for Milan, and I remember thinking this guy is a killer. Obviously, you guys watch more Prem than I did, so your tie with Rosicky is a little bit deeper, maybe.
Yeah, I just remember with Flamini, towards the end of his time at Arsenal, he kind of petered out. It felt like. And I remember him having this like FIFA card that you would always get this card and when you're opening packs, and it was like the least desirable, like 76 rated, like shit center mid, and I would be like, oh, this guy, that's kind of my association.
But that's criminal like though, because he was so much better than that before.
Yeah, I know. I'm aware of that. Yeah.
Yeah. I almost put him up with Wilshere in this, and then I was like, no, Wilshere. I would pick Wilshere. That's not even a comparison, but I thought Rosicky was a good. I'm gonna have to get Dylan or Max's opinion on this. The Wolf Slayer. I honestly, I have watched maybe one of his games last season, and I was not impressed, but he might have had a shit game. I don't even remember who it was against, but I was in Germany at the time, so I watched it at a pub, and some people were telling me he was better than the game I watched, but I was impressed with him against Wolves, especially his movement in the box. I thought you can see it clearly on the goal because obviously it's a goal, but like he's creating a lot of space. There's a lot of constant movement, and he's a big man. He's kind of a clunky striker sometimes in the box. He had a couple situations where I was like, oh god, like just get the shot off. But overall, I think is a decent signing. What are you guys' thoughts? Maybe with Wissa too being same position.
Yeah. I think he's a really interesting player because he has some strong suits which don't normally match up in a single player, like being so tall and dangerous in the air, and then also being really known for being a technical dribbler, good at link-up play. And so he's kind of like this target man, striker, beast, and then he also has this flip side where he has other talents that you don't normally associate with that sort of player.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it seems in terms of their replacement for Isak, they've looked for similar archetypes in a striker that Isak contains within himself, but at a very, very like elite level. So it'll be interesting to see how he adapts into that, and the rest of the squad kind of adapts around him in terms of already having played with somebody that inhabits like certain qualities like that. And I think too, I'm sure like for the whole squad, like it was a bit demoralizing the way that Isak ended up leaving and stuff, and adjusting to that. Yeah. You could definitely see that in the first couple of games that Newcastle had this season, just like falling a little bit flat. So I'm excited to see them kind of soak into the season a little bit more and see how it goes.
What I noticed is that Newcastle is such a fast playing team. Like once they hit like the opposition's third of the pitch, they're just flying, you know. And especially, I mean, Murphy is pinning balls in. It's just, I mean, I love the way they play, and he feels like you could already start seeing glimpses of like if he gets this right, if he starts gelling with them, it's gonna be pretty lethal the way Isak was. But I think, you know, understandable this is not quite there yet.
Yeah.
They definitely have a chip on their shoulder to prove both Newcastle and Voltemade, just because of the whole Isak saga.
Yeah, for sure. I totally agree.
Because he's leaving because they're not the elite club, you know. And but then at the same time they're close.
I mean, obviously the argument goes that Liverpool is one of the top clubs in the world at the moment. Right. But I think he was wrong on every account, the way he disrespected a perfectly solid club to play for. I mean, I love Newcastle personally, so I felt like fuck this guy, and kind of now I have a grudge against Isak, a player that I love, but it left me feeling really sour the way he turned his back.
But the claim that they weren't able to bring in a striker, which is why they weren't going to let them leave, obviously wasn't true, because they brought in Voltemade, and he's a world class, and Wissa.
I think Wissa is a great option.
I question a lot of the communication from both sides, but it you know, Newcastle didn't really stick by what they claimed in the end, you know. And whether you say, oh well, he forced his way out in a way that wasn't cool, or if Newcastle went back on their word,
well, one could argue they definitely overpaid for Voltemade, even though, you know, he's good. But I think, I don't remember the exact number, but I remember feeling like, oof, that's a lot of...
Yeah, like 75 million pounds or something.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be like south of that, something like that. The way I like Newcastle, I don't have a Premier League club that I support, thank God, because I think that would be stressful, but I like West Ham a lot. The two clubs that I always liked as a kid were Newcastle and West Ham, and to see them like this, it hurts me. What's going on? I mean, is it just the Potter effect, or...
He's not a wizard, not. That's for sure.
Yeah. I really am rooting for him, because as a Swansea fan, unfortunately, he was our manager, and he was a decent coach, and then he got sniped up and left, and I think he went too quickly to Chelsea.
Yeah.
And then I think he also wasn't fully given his... They didn't look great. He didn't look great when he was there, but he wasn't given really time. And stylistically, the way that he implements things is very methodical and planned out. And I feel like there's some... it's a little too early to tell whether it's going to work out this season.
Here's the thing, that they're in relegation zone, obviously, now, which it's early, so, you know. But... how long can you afford to keep this guy in there? How much time can you give him? How many weeks from now do you go, it hasn't worked out? Because then you're restarting from zero. You're restarting from a demoralized squad. And, you know, it's not like you bring in...
It's bad if you're in the relegation zone and you lose your manager, then you start over. And it's arguably more difficult to get out of that funk and get the ball rolling. And unless he's lost the dressing room, or it just really seems like there's no way forward with him, I think that it's worth giving some time to see if they can get the ball rolling a little bit. And they had a red card, and then the game completely changed from that point onward. And I think that's a little circumstantial, this game. And Tottenham is sort of flying under Thomas Frank. You know?
Yeah, I was gonna say they are. That's you know, Spurs have looked really good to start the season off, and at the same time, I think I agree with you that they need a little bit of time to continue seeing things out. I know that especially at this level, like, the results are so important. So it'll be interesting to see what that kind of time frame looks like. Like, are they gonna give him until, you know, the end of October to have it figured out, till like Boxing Day time to have it figured out? It'll be interesting to see.
Who I would love to see at this job is Claudio Ranieri.
That would be cool.
Because I think West Ham has a good squad and a squad of fighters for the most part, and I think someone that plays simple football, just a lot of emotions behind the way that they play, I think it would do like an immediate like turnaround, But I don't think that's ever gonna happen, to be honest. He's pretty set in his job at Roma, being part of the technical of the direction of the club, which that's his childhood club, so he's perfectly happy where he's at. Cole Palmer is back scoring, but he did miss a pretty insane chance where he tried to slot it, and it was a little bit, maybe needed a little bit more power behind that shot to go in, but I was impressed with the 15 minutes or 20 minutes Garnacho got. I thought he put in pretty interesting balls in. It's just Chelsea started playing a little too late and then maybe got relaxed a little bit.
That's perfectly said. They kind of turned off for a second after they got that second goal. And if you're gonna go up that late into the game, you would hope that they'd see out the win, whether that's applying more pressure and just like holding the ball up in the in their attacking third, or just knocking the ball around and kind of killing off the game. But they kind of did neither of those things, and you can see it in the first half too.
This is like the difference between making a challenge like to the title and then or just challenging for a place in the Champions League or in Europe. You have to see out games like this.
They didn't put the game to bed. Yeah, right. And and it's not like Brentford is a team that should be fighting for a draw against Chelsea. Like Brentford have had a really poor transfer window. They're not playing great. It's pretty poor from Chelsea. But I mean, also you look at their starting lineup and you think about, Brentford has a shot at this game, just from the start. Yeah. And they got it. They got the draw at the end. So
the starting formation from Chelsea, I mean, Miguel touched on it a little bit earlier, but I understand wanting to rest your guys, but you're giving the message to Brentford that it's like, we're underestimating you. We're going to get the dub. No matter who we put in, our entire squad, second string, they're better than your first.
They played 4 center backs.
Right. Yeah. But why the fuck? Like, what? We all looked at that formation and went, what is going on with this? Like, I think I like Maresca, but he has shown that over and over, like from last season too. Like he's I don't understand why managers tend to complicate their lives like this. Like, you can rest your guys. It's a lot less stressful to start the games with all starters all the time, put the game to bed, take him out at the 60th.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
It's but and out of respect for the fans, they're playing away here. They're not playing at Stamford Bridge, luckily, but like, if I'm a fan coming from the US, for example, like I want to see if Cole has 90 minutes in his like I'm there one time in my life. I want to see him. There's got to be a little bit of that added pressure too, I think.
Yeah, and too, he was coming back from injury too, so I think there's a little bit of in that sense, easing him back in for a big game that's coming up.
Yeah, world class volley from him.
This man does not need any easing into fucking anything. No. This guy, like, I mean, sure, Menu, we know the issues with Menu, but he did have like pretty impressive saves, good communication with his back line, and it is, at the end of the day, they're the favorites in the fixture, but like, it's a derby, like the emotions are there. And he had, like, for me, a 10 out of 10 game.
Yeah.
And he's the backbone of like a 3-0 win.
Yeah, especially being the debut game,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a huge debut.
Yeah, in the derby.
Yeah.
But if there is a keeper that will be unfazed by that, it's Donnarumma. Because since he was 16, I remember the day he debuted for Milan, I said, this guy has the biggest balls I've ever seen. Like, it's the way his whole career shapes up of pressures, and the way he is mistreated, the way he runs after money sometimes. It's just like, it's interesting, and he's still young, so like we'll get another 10 years of this.
Yeah, easily. No, it's so cool to see. I just remembered, learning about him around the time of him making his debut for Milan, just tripping out about the fact that a 16-year-old is getting his debut for Milan as keeper too. It's just like
started playing for the national team pretty early too, like, and filling in a legacy from Gigi Buffon is like, not many people can do that, and he's done it. In my book, he's done it, and because he's not the issue with the national team, we all know that, and we would have never won the Euros without this man either. So, but I also want to talk about how City is looking sharp up front. Couldn't say the same last time out against Brighton. I think they had a kind of a rough game, but definitely hit the ground running against Man U, and maybe the added pressure of like it's a derby, we gotta put it away, helps. I think City sometimes does what Chelsea did against Brentford a little bit. Like they kind of underestimate a bit. They like to toy around with their prey without really like just going in for
I mean, how much of it is Man City great, or are Man United just that poor?
I understand your point, but I mean, we watched the game together, and I remember saying, like, going over that too, and you have to take the negatives on one side and you have to take the positives on the other. Like, I understand that Man U defense is not hard to get around, but to do it, like, they did it like 6 or 7 times, like clear cut chance. Could have ended like
Reinders could have had a couple of goals.
Yeah. And Haaland misses one.
Well. Doku played great.
Doku was getting by like butter.
So it's easy.
Yeah. I'd rather give my flowers to a team that has found themselves, found their way back a little bit to the way that they used to play, than criticize a team that week in and week out like struggles. And that's just how Man U is gonna be. You know.
And honestly, in watching that game, United did have good movement in the final third. Casemiro probably should have had a goal, and it would have been onside as well.
Mbeumo had a crazy volley. This man made the craziest save.
Yeah. So it didn't look, completely shambolic at all in terms of their movement in the final third. Definitely, there was no keeping up with Doku and the quick, just like Haaland's goals were just such a quick, bang bang type of movement that none of their backline could really do much about. Both of those chances, like, you'd be surprised, like so surprised if he'd missed them.
Yeah. I'm also starting to think from that one that maybe Amorim is more of a problem because of the players he's bringing on look like they need to be on the pitch, and the players that are starting seem like they're not at the level,
Absolutely. I know we both felt that way when Mainu came on. I mean,
immediate impact.
He looked really good.
Yeah,
he looked really good.
Liverpool did it again. Fucking, these guys are. I can't believe, like, every week they find a way, and I mean, this is a deserved win because they crushed Burnley, and they definitely deserved the win. But it's kind of crazy how week in and week out, since week 1 against Bournemouth, the Arsenal game, I'd say, was the most deserved win out of all of them. Because I thought they played much better than Arsenal, but Didn't feel that way about the Newcastle game. I think, you keep doing stuff like this, you win the title. There's no way of going around it.
And it's funny because I wasn't surprised when I saw that they scored at the end. We had tried to get up to watch the game, but ended up sleeping in. And then I had a dream that they were up in the game, and I checked the score when I woke up. And I looked at the score when I actually woke up, and it was still 0-0. And it was late. It was like 85th minute. And I was thinking, and I was like, oh, they'll figure out some way to get a 1-0 win in my head, and because I'm thinking they're not going to draw with Burnley. They're not going to allow this to happen, with the team they have now and the way that things are going for them. So I wasn't really surprised.
I guess I don't really feel that way about other teams that are supposed to be challenging for the title.
No, same here.
I don't feel that way about Chelsea. If it comes to the narrow end and it's gridlock 0-0, I don't know if they will find that one goal. Like, I don't feel as confident in Arsenal when the game is 0-0 against a club that sits tight at the back. Like, I think Liverpool is the one that has the most weapons. Maybe City with Haaland being huge presence in the box, but outside of those two, I don't, I guess I don't feel that confident about like narrow 1-0 wins. I want to welcome Rasmus Højlund to my club, to Benvenuto a Napoli. This guy is made to play for us. Like, fighter. Has an insane link up with De Bruyne. Like, it immediately, like, it's 4 minutes into the game, they're already gone in twice. And sure, Fiorentina is not, for a defensive league like Serie A, Fiorentina is not a very defensive team. They like to play pretty, pretty high up the field, but Napoli just killed them right away, like 2-0 in the first 15 minutes. Looked comfortable the whole time. And I'm feeling confident. I'm feeling the most confident I've felt about Napoli in a long time.
Mm. I want to point out how after one single game, Højlund looks like the striker that Man United actually need. It took one game.
Of course. I mean, that's like it's like the Liverpool thing. Is like, if you think Liverpool is gonna get the 1-0 win, you know that a Man United player is gonna leave and thrive. It's just how football works these days.
Yeah,
and
it's a shame. I'm ready for this to not happen, and you're like, oh yeah, this player was actually shit,
Yeah.
But I don't think it's gonna ever happen in this era of Manchester United.
I think haircut. He's never gonna get his haircut.
Yeah.
Oh, the one guy that we need to reach out to, because I don't know if he blesses us with his presence. I would love to meet this person. But yeah, I was thinking about maybe I should grow my hair out until Napoli loses a game. No, I'm not that confident.
No,
but
I think
it might happen this week against Man City. So
every time they lose, you have to shave your head.
Oh God, I'll always be shaved. I'll always be bald my whole life. This was, to me, the most entertaining game of the year so far.
This game was crazy.
The scoreline, the Turkish baller against Turkish baller, both scoring, the brothers both scoring. It's just, people that say Serie A is not entertaining. I mean, obviously I'm biased, but like, what the fuck? What do you have in front? You've got Gabagool in front of your eyes. Like, the fuck? Like, this is pure football, Yeah. And if you like the bad defending, then there you go. You got some in this matchup, because it was fucked up. Like, some of these goals should have never been goals, but that's what people like. I guess.
Summer did not have a good game.
No,
he had a floppy hand.
Yeah,
floppy hand.
You can't, especially from someone of his quality. You can't, Onana hits that, we're not surprised. That's like obviously like the easiest example I could have made, but I feel like
leave him alone.
No, it's okay.
Asshole.
He's where he belongs.
No, okay. He's the next guy
Osimhen.
to leave United, and he has to play well. You know what I mean?
Look,
or do you think he's going to prove our stat wrong?
If it somehow works on him, I don't know what I do. Might shave my head, honestly, because
he and Ederson matched up over the weekend. Both Manchester keepers were playing against each other.
Okay, I'm gonna quickly check how that went over. But yeah, I mean, just to wrap up the Derby d'Italia, like I'm so happy when I watch Serie A and there's just quality on the pitch and the teams aren't afraid to throw everything at the wall. I mean, I thought Juve did a great job at countering, which is obviously like, you know, kind of their legacy from a long, but we haven't seen that in a while. Like they haven't been able to successfully do that in big matches in a while. And Kenan Yildiz, I think, is such an underrated player. I mean, and it doesn't help that Çalhanoğlu is on the same national team and Arda Güler, who scored this week also.
They just got beat 6-0 by Spain, though. Turkey.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, none of these guys are defenders, but I still, but I still think like Turkey has a sneaky good team. I don't know if they're gonna qualify for the World Cup, but I hope so. I want to see these guys in the World Cup.
Yeah, it would be cool.
Yeah. The guy that scored the 4-3 go-ahead goals is a 19-year-old named Adzic.
Oh, yeah.
Which I know nothing about this guy.
He hasn't even played a full 90 minutes worth of football, I think.
No. But sometimes in big games, it takes the ingenuity of a kid being like, fuck it, I'm going to shoot from like 30 yards out.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of players more senior...
in the 90-plus minute also.
Yeah. How many players pass it off easily? I mean, I think he had a couple options next to him, but he just geared up and shot. And it kind of reminded me of the way that Liverpool won against Newcastle with the kid coming in and slotting that beautiful finish. You know, I think football needs that. Football needs people that aren't afraid to make a massive mistake. I think social media and the pressure of modern football has added so much stress on these guys that I think some of them you can kind of see that they're terrified from taking a shot from 35 yards out on a 3-3 big match. Because if it ends up in the stands, it ends up all over Twitter, all over social media saying like, So of course, like, so even subconsciously, you might not think about it as you're getting up for the shot or, you know, but like you might subconsciously be like, I'm not
second thoughts. Yeah,
I was thinking about that after watching this match. Luka Modric is if this guy doesn't ball, Milan doesn't get any points. Everything good that Milan's done this season has come from the feet of this guy, whether assisting or scoring. I'm just like, what? Like, is Serie A really that kind of league? Like, I can't believe that. You know, 40-year-old deciding game after game. But
I'm hyped on this one. I'm so hyped that he's playing well and he's proving me wrong. I was thinking like, oh, this is our signing, you know, like, what's this gonna do? But he's such a maestro, you know, type of player, and he's he's world class, you know, still.
Yeah.
Tidy finish, but
beautiful.
A little bit poor defensively to not pick up the run.
I'm not gonna lie, Bologna looked really bad, and I'm kind of sad. The way they've looked the whole season so far has been like not a good representation of what the club can do, and Milan deserved the win. Like, it could have ended like 3 or 4-0.
They hit the post 4 times at least, if not 5.
Yeah, a couple of those
crazy.
were Santi Jimenez.
Jimenez, man, like what?
Yeah, I think
I want to like him and I want to give him a chance, but it just felt like every time he got the ball, he made it more difficult for himself to score.
It's got to be mental because the quality is there. I think the player, we've seen him at Feyenoord, and I know Eredivisie is like a specific league where scoring is not the hardest thing to do, but I mean, even at an international level, he's pulled through. Like, I believe in him. I would love for the Milan fans to be patient with him because I think there is something special there. It's a terrifying club to play for. I mean, it's the most winning club internationally in Italy. They have 7 Champions Leagues. I mean, I don't take that lightly if I'm a guy who's literally a kid, like a childhood AC Milan fan, and he gets to play for them.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's cool. I just think people need to be patient. Shout out to Jahandar for putting on the Feyenoord highlights, because we witnessed an insane moment.
Matteo goes, why are you putting on the Feyenoord highlights?
Like just
why would you? And I was like, no, Feyenoord is sick, especially this guy, Haj Musa.
Yes.
And I was saying, okay, yeah, he scored the winning goal and he got sent off same game.
Yes, but that's the most baller fucking move.
Yeah.
You 1-0, then you get sent off straight red. I mean, I already love the kid, but
sounds like some Matteo shit, honestly.
I will say the red card was a very poor decision. I don't think.
Yeah, it wasn't a deliberate. I mean, it was just the classic, like, oh, let's VAR the contact and see how high is the leg. Yeah,
it was crazy. Yeah, it was. It looked like it was something that wasn't bad, and then you put it in slow motion, and you're like, oh, it's. Kind of looks bad, but
pretty.
The guy was not even injured.
Classic modern football shit. But
anyways,
it doesn't take anything away from the fact that this kid is the next up. And you can see, if you watch these highlights, please do yourself a favor and put on the Feyenoord highlights from this week. I forgot who they played because that's irrelevant. This guy balled so hard. He controls a pinged ball so easily, goes straight into a juggle.
Yeah.
And then pings straight into a juggle, pings the ball around
for an assist.
Nice finish, yeah, for an assist. And then it gets called back for an offside.
Also very narrow and potentially incorrect call. So it was almost like the sickest Ronaldinho-esque assist that you've seen.
Yes.
Never in the modern football era, No. He controls the ball on the side of his foot from like a long pass from the other side of the pitch, does like 3 or 4 juggles, and then pings it like as if he's just doing a training session,
This is what I'm talking about with the ingenuity of this generation of ballers. Like this guy.
Inject it into my veins, dude. It is so needed.
Yeah, you need to go watch that. You guys all need to go watch that. Also love this guy, Bradley. Honestly, I just was waiting for a reason to put this picture up. I think he's so
cute, honestly.
He's so adorable as a kid with the Lyon kit. But he had a brace. I honestly, I think PSG is gonna run away with another title. I'm just curious to see how much they can do in the Champions League this year, because my gut feeling is they got their belly full and they're not even gonna make it to semis for me. But
interesting.
Yeah, I mean, not crash and burn, but I think they're gonna lose in the quarters to someone who's just hungrier, to someone who's trying to prove a point.
Dembele is injured, and
yes,
someone else is injured.
I don't know. I knew about Dembele, but it's not.
Doué is also injured.
Oh, Doué is injured.
How long? I don't know.
I'm not sure for how long, but I know they're both.
Dembele
out.
is not a long injury. I don't think it's a muscle injury. Should be back pretty soon.
That's good. Also, this whole season I've been thinking about the World Cup in terms of long-term injuries for players, and that just when that shit happens, I just get super scared and sad, because it's so we're coming up on a World Cup year, and it's
you never want to see anybody miss the World Cup through injury. That's really sad.
Everyone needs to stay healthy. Lamine was not healthy this week, but simple, little tweaking in the Spain games, but Barca 6-0 without Lamine is like pretty impressive. I mean,
you heard about how Rafinha was late to training and so he got benched. Yeah, and so
I mean, must be nice to afford that. It's like we have so many ballers. Fuck it, we're missing the best one. We benched the second best one.
They started Bardghji, Rooney Bardghji.
Love this beast. Kid. Yes.
Yeah, it's such a cool transfer to see him go to Barca.
If we started the podcast last year, I would have put him in one of my Uncut Gems graphics because he balled so hard at Copenhagen. Like
he was
I loved him. Yeah. But yeah, I think Barca is a club who is, to me, favored to win the Champions League or just be there, semis, final. Once you get to those games, it's tough. But I
would love that for Rashford alone.
For Rashford, another freed soul from the Man United curse.
I mean, look how happy he looks, bro.
He's enjoying his football.
Exactly.
He made a really nice assist.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
I was gonna say that about Højlund earlier when we were talking about his debut, and after one of Napoli's goals in that game, like he was like the way he ran over to celebrate with the team, he's just beaming and like that. You can tell like that like means everything, and the same for that photo of Rashford too. Like the joy of playing is like palpable with all. I mean, these poor dudes.
to a certain extent, we've all hit like times in our lives where we didn't like the way we were playing football, and even if you're playing pickup with your homies, like, and you finally hit a performance that you're like, oh, I can be proud about that. Like it feels like a liberation. So I cannot even begin to imagine what it means for these guys to be playing at this level outside of that cursed club. And just, I mean, I don't have anything against Man U. It's just like a lot of players that I love end up going there. Right now, Xerxes and Cunha are two players that I really love, and I can't wait for them to leave. I mean, hopefully soon. This is another random question that popped up in my head. These are two of my favorite stadiums in England that I'm putting together like a trip for next time I'm in Europe, and I'm trying to think, what do I want to hit? And I thought Millwall for sure. I mean, it's in London, it's easy because flying into London, but also Portsmouth, Fratton Park. I've dreamt to watch a game there since I was a kid.
That's very Matteo of you. This is a very Matteo moment. We should call these Matteo moments.
Okay. I like that. Yeah, so this is, you guys don't even want to answer that. You're like, whatever.
I mean, I love stadiums and pitches that are set up seemingly like these both are, where the stands get close to the touch. There's no fucking track. There's no weird trench like built into the pitch that like players slide into after missing a ball on the touch or something. Like it's intimate. And the one thing I will say though about, like, I feel like this is a common thing at like smaller to medium sized stadiums in the UK, are the stands that have that like pitched roof like that. Like I wonder, like if you're up in the stands like that, can you fucking see the other side of the pitch?
It depends on the stadium. I was at Swansea last year. That got
the Joe Allen moment.
Oh yeah, that's all. I'm gonna have to find a way to like share the video with people. But yeah, I was in a really good seat, and like you said, that like no track, no ditch, no like it was just in the pitch. But as I was walking down, I noticed that the top row, like the view is not great. Like you have to be sitting down because as soon as you stand up, you can't really see directly the whole pitch. Which
interesting.
But
yeah, I would. Do you have what's your pick?
I'm doing both.
I would say I would pick the Den because Millwall's whole ethos is like the beefcake footballers, British football, like no bullshit, destroyers, fighting, and then to have the atmosphere of their home stadium where that energy is amplified. Potentially, I don't know how much their identity is still that now with the way that they're playing in their squad, but that's historically always been their kind of like.
I think they're a pretty
strategy.
I think they're still a pretty scrappy club the way that they play. At least last season, I followed them a lot, and they were definitely a physical team.
Sort of reminding me of like back in when the Earthquakes were that sort of team. You know, with like a bunch of like beefy strikers who would get the like shittiest 90th minute goal winner ever. Like Alan Gordon, Stephen Lenhart era.
Lenhart, yeah. That was a time for real. They were just like on some crazy wave with that in terms of
that
like,
was crazy.
There were like a handful of seasons where they were just like getting those like late equalizers or late winners, and just it was like almost kind of like Leverkusen last season, where they were just like, I mean, that's a whole different ball of wax, but like those late just moments that to steal the show is so funny to see. And so I don't know, as a fan, it's exciting to see. Like I remember like as a teenager being at an Earthquakes LA Galaxy game at the Stanford Stadium, and either one of the two strikers that you mentioned scored a late winner.
Was it the one with Shea Salinas scored the last minute winner?
It could have actually been. It could
because I was at that game.
It could have been. It actually, it could have been that.
I think it was like 2-1, and Salinas had like a 90th minute winner on a counter, and that was scenes for sure.
Bro, and that was timeless too. You know?
Also, yeah.
This week, the Quakes went down 3-0 in the first 12 minutes. So.
Yeah, I saw that.
I can't even begin to think of how it must feel for you guys, like with these memories, and then seeing what the club is like now.
Oh,
they could not harness
unattached.
The power of the Sunny D. Could not harness the power of the Sunny D.
They've sucked. I
wanted to show you guys also. This is the abomination. I mean, to me, that is an abomination. Crazy. But this is whatever the fuck they've come up with for the Millwall Stadium. So I want to go and see this before it's turned into this.
Is this serious?
No, at first I thought, I was like, what the fuck is that? And then apparently it's approved. I mean,
this reminds me of Sacha Baron Cohen making the joke going into the town hall meeting and proposing the new mosque in like middle America.
Yes, this is exactly
you know what I'm talking about?
It's like. No, I know. And then it's like that super Republican little town. This is
almost
that out of place looking to me.
Well, I'm outraged. I'm outraged on that level, to be honest, and. Because, dude, fucking modern football, like, what is this? I mean, sure, it's nice, but, like, are you kidding me? You have detached, because even at Fratton Park with Portsmouth, now they have made it all one. They have like attached this, fully wrapped around. But this is getting more and more rare to where there is gaps. And
in the stands,
I don't know. I mean,
kind of like having some gaps that you can see what's around the stadium. You can see if it's in a neighborhood. You can see the landscape. I
mean, my favorite stadium in the world is not even a football stadium. It's the Giants baseball stadium. Because the whole point is that you're nestled in the Bay Area. It's beautiful. You're sure there is a match going on, but like you're looking elsewhere also. Like your eyes drifting over to seeing Oakland, to see the bridge. I mean, it's like being put in these fucking toilet bowls. Like, you're not seeing anything. You could be anywhere in the fucking world. You're sitting inside a stadium and it doesn't tell you anything of where you are. And I think it's just criminal. But so this was the nail in the coffin for me of like, I gotta get the fuck over to London. I gotta go watch a game this season because I can't have whatever this is.
They're not going to call it the new den, surely, right? With that design.
I mean, that's what it was called. That's on the architectural plans. That's what they were referring it as. But like, I don't know. I also put that title just to remind myself what I was looking at, the abomination that I was looking at.
Yeah, this is what it is.
This brings us to some prediction, analysis, thoughts, concerns on what we are going to experience in the next couple of days. On Tuesday, this is what we have. Now that I'm looking at this, I'm like, dang, what do I even watch?
Man, Dylan's
I love Marseille.
Stressed out on Tuesday.
Yeah, Dill and Brian Darby. Brian Darby. Madrid, Marseille.
I'm gonna have to look them up and ask if they're watching it.
I'll realistically watch Borussia beat Juve.
I'm sort of curious about the Marseille-Madrid game.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to want to watch that.
Marseille had a rough start of their season. They won 4-0 this match day week, but the whole Rabiot row thing, it was, I mean, they lost 2 of their best players. It was
did that game happen, by the way?
Yeah. It was Milan, yes. Bologna they played against.
But did Rowe play?
I don't think Rowe played.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll double check too.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
But yeah, Rabiot played. Him and Allegri are happy to see each other, I'm sure, because Allegri was so dependent on Rabiot his time at Juve. Like he was the guy that never came off. So I'm sure it's a huge relief to have him at Milan. Checking right now. Oh, apparently Rowe came on at the 74th minute, but I didn't see anything weird with Rabiot. So
Rabiot was still in the pitch?
Yes, played full 90. Rabiot.
Interesting.
Let's see. What do we have on Wednesday? Oh yeah, on Wednesday we have great matchups. Bayern Chelsea. Yeah. That's got my attention for sure. Yeah. I want to keep an eye on this Liverpool Atletico because I think it has the potential of being like Liverpool could potentially blow them out of the water. I think
potentially. You never know when they're going to have a close game when they shouldn't, you know?
Yeah. But like I think Champions League first match, I think you send the message that, hey, we're here, we mean business. I mean, Atletico Madrid is definitely a lot better than Burnley. You know, I'll just say that. They are, but like offensively, they're mediocre, and they're having a season where like it kind of feels like they're not gonna play for anything. At least I watched them 2 weeks ago when they drew. I forget against who. Too many games in my head, but I was like, wow, this is a team that doesn't even look like themselves. Like, but Simeone could get him hyped for a big matchup in the Champions League.
Yeah,
I watched them live last season in Lisbon against Benfica, and they lost 4-0, and they got battered. And that night I was like, damn, Atletico is not really what they used to be. They lose big games now. They lose. It felt like kind of the downfall of a defensive empire. PSG Atalanta, that would have been really exciting to watch last year, but I don't think this year is gonna be that fun. Atalanta is a new coach, and I don't think they're gonna be much of a challenge for PSG, unfortunately.
What's your prediction for the Bayern Chelsea result? I like
2-2 that Miguel was mentioning earlier. I do also think it could potentially be like a 3-1 Bayern situation. So just to be different, I'll say 3-1 Bayern.
Yeah.
Okay.
What about you?
Yeah.
3-3.
I like to watch 3-3 matchup.
Let's see.
I just noticed Olympiacos against Paphos, they both have faces in their logo. They both have heads. And so does Ajax. That's interesting. And so does Atalanta. That would have been a crazy group.
They're all
old
facing
school.
like the same direction.
Yeah.
Too.
Old school group
Same with
of
Ajax is also a face. It's kind of hard to tell.
Yeah.
Facing that direction.
So those four would have been a crazy old school group to see next to each other. Well, you know what I'm gonna be watching on Thursday.
Yeah.
I already not gonna sleep for like 2 nights. One of my favorite memories as a kid is Napoli beating Man City at home. I was there. And the same season we beat Chelsea at home. We beat I think we drew against Bayern. That year we were killing in 2012.
What's that, Hamsik era?
Yeah, Hamsik, Lavezzi, Cavani. It was an amazing attacking trio. Newcastle, Barcelona. How do we feel about that?
Interesting.
Good matchup.
Really good matchup.
I don't think it is as clear.
I want to see Voltemade against the Barca defense. You know?
Yeah. No, that's gonna. I know that's gonna be a super fun match to watch.
I think who's really gonna tear it up is like on the sides. I mean, like because the
facing
wing.
up.
Oh yeah, Rashford Trippier matchup. Is that the?
Yeah, I think so. Or is Livramento playing left or right?
Trippier's playing right, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. I think so.
Yeah,
I always get confused with those, but yeah, I think that's gonna be a good matchup. I see Barcelona grabbing the win, but it's not gonna be as easy as maybe some people think.
Yeah.
Also want to mention,
about City, Napoli.
I mean, I think Napoli's playing great, but City is so scary up front, and I guess I don't feel as confident in our defense to like keep them out completely. I think we're gonna allow for sure 1 or 2 goals, and that's the thing is, are we gonna be able to score them? It has the potential to be like a high scoring game.
Yeah.
But on the other end, I can also see Napoli sitting really deep and just letting Man City swing and then hit him back on the count. The thing is that we're not a great countering team. Like we don't have a fast swing play. We don't have even McTominay, De Bruyne. They're more like slow builders. Lobotka. We know. There's
still a couple of times though where the game of the weekend where they were hitting a counter, like no one was like fully like through on goal or anything, but they were like progressing the ball pretty quickly on the counter in terms of, and then like just like having numbers up like pretty quickly to support, where it's not like Politano people just going alone.
Politano, not just because he plays for Napoli, but I really think he's one of the better transition playing wingers. Like he defends so hard, like he really is grinding the whole time as a right back, and then you find him in the box 2 seconds after. You look away, the guy is like I'm grateful to have him for sure.
And his decision making is so good too.
I wanted to mention that I'm also super excited to see Kairat Almaty. I'm excited to see Paphos. I'm excited to see these clubs that are making their Champions League debut.
And Bodo is back as well.
Bodo Glimt, yeah.
They were awesome to watch last season.
In the Europa for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, that concludes our weekly podcast. We still went like an hour, which is great. I mean, I thought we covered everything pretty well. Any last thoughts before we log off?
We need this vibe back in.
I don't know. I like
got a
this.
taste of that with the Sounders Inter Miami game, but like we need this.
This was one of the reasons why this and the movie Goal are two great reasons of why I love Newcastle. And I guess they did a great job with that movie, because as an Italian kid who doesn't give a fuck about the Premier League, I was like, I gotta start watching Newcastle. And
I'm excited for the derby with the Sunderland back.
Yeah, dude.
Oh my god, man.
That's gonna be one to watch.
Hell yeah.
Men in Blazers does a table at the end of every Premier League match week where they like write out a little caption for each team's place. And Sunderland's was just like looking down at Newcastle because they're like 4 to like 6 places above them in the league standings right now. It's so funny.
Sunderland, I think, is gonna easily stay up this season.
I think so too. I'm happy for that. Yeah, it's nice to see them back in the Prem.
They do. I genuinely hope they do. Like when you were talking about Portsmouth grounds earlier, I was like, I would definitely love to see a Portsmouth game, because I remember like them and like Bolton and Sunderland just being like Premier League staples for me when I was growing up.
I mean, I'm telling you, like, my first game in England as an adult, I went to watch Swansea Stoke City, and it was a 0-0 draw, and I was stoked. I was, the whole time I was like, this is the greatest day of my life. Like, I loved it, and the whole experience of like, drinking tea with the old man and having him tell stories about fucking Swansea in the 70s and 60s, and I
loved all of that, every minute.
We'll make sure to do a trip all together soon.
I want to go see Swansea for sure.
Yeah, I'd love to be back. And I know a great Turkish restaurant in the town of Swansea. That's great.
Yeah, I'll cop a Michu jersey before we
fuck there. Fucking Michu. Of course, he came to Napoli and was the most shambolic 9 we've had, and since
I remember that.
God,
it is Andy Carroll shit, but in Italy.
Yeah. Except couldn't score to save his life. Like, it was insane. All right. Well, now I'm upset, so I gotta go. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. See you next time.
See you all next time.